So you've built the career, you're maybe even building the dream life, but your body, it's falling apart. We both know it is. You know, the belly fat's creeping up, you've got low energy, there's no drive, libido and testosterone are on the floor, and you catch yourself every now and again just pinching that bit of fat at the bottom of your belly every so often. And don't worry, like I've been there. This is exactly what happens when your metabolism slows down. And I'll show you how to kind of flip that back on to lose the stubborn belly fat and keep it all off in the next few minutes. Not through starvation, no 6-day training splits, and no treadmill marathons. Believe me, I hate that stuff. And look, belly fat is easy to gain and notoriously quite hard to lose, especially with long working hours, travel, and stress. And here's why most men get stuck. You don't burn belly fat first. Your body prioritizes other areas until you're lean enough. For most men, the real midsection changes. They start around 15% body fat, and by 12 to 10%, the belly fat is gone. But the approach that takes you from, say, 25% to 15% won't always get you from 15% to 12%. Because as you lean out, hunger rises, metabolism adapts, and what worked before stalls. It's quite annoying, actually. But we use a 3-stage plan, and each stage has clear targets and small upgrades powered by kind of 3 pillars here. Firstly, metabolic training method. This is 3 sessions a week, 45 minutes. That is all you need. You don't need to train 6 days a week, believe me. Lifestyle nutrition. That is our flexible nutrition framework. You know, it's travel proof and it's built around your real life. And then our executive performance protocol, which really helps with energy, focus, and recovery so you can perform at work and in the gym. Now, this process is what we use to help Dan lose 40 pounds and finally look like the man he wanted to be, all without actually living in the gym, like most people believe. And Lewis, who went from skinny fat to cover model ready, just by speeding up his metabolism, not starving it. So let's dive into the 3 stages to help you do the same. Stage 1, going from 25% body fat to 15% body fat. The goal here is simple. Kick, start, fat loss, and keep it rolling until you get to 15% body fat. This is probably the easiest stage physiologically because hunger is low and the risk of losing any muscle is low. We just need to focus on 2 things here. Firstly, calories and then protein. Calories, you don't need to cut carbs or try and ban foods that you enjoy. You just need a simple calorie deficit. This is when you efficiently consume less calories than you burn each day. Every day your engine burns a certain amount of fuel, which is made up of your bodily functions, exercise, walking around, and existing. If we eat less calories than this, we will lose weight. But let's find that number out for you because I want you to go away from this video really just ready to implement. So take your body weight in pounds and times that by 11 to 13 for your daily calories. Multiply it by 13 if you're active and lighter, and by 11 if you're sedentary and sit at the desk all day and maybe are a little bit heavier. So inside our lifestyle nutrition framework, we do this with low calorie dense foods so you stay full while eating fewer calories. For example, big plates of lean protein, fibrous veg, fruit, potatoes, oats, Greek yogurt. But you want to be careful with more calorie dense foods, aka, you know, those foods that are higher in calories and less in volume, such as your oils, nuts, pastries. Use these foods strategically, not mindlessly. And then with your protein protects muscle while you lose fat and keeps you fuller. For you heavier guys with higher body fat, I would aim for around 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. For example, if you weigh 250 pounds, quick maths, you want to eat around 200 grams of protein. But for you leaner, lighter guys who are maybe nearer that 15% mark already, aim for around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This maths is simple. If you are 200 pounds, then aim for around 200 grams of protein. This might sound like a lot, but it's really not when you kind of break it down into kind of 3 to 5 meals. Just build each meal around the lean protein source, you know, and then pair it with like a high volume fruit. For example, breakfast could be some eggs, whey protein, lunch, chicken breast, and dinner would be some steak. And then if you add in some yogurt or whey protein as a snack for the day, you have easily boxed off 200 grams. That's how simple it can be. Now, if you're training, I want you to use your metabolic training method. It's the best. I'm not biased, but this is just 3 sessions a week, 45 minutes, full body or upper lower full body splits. Now, I want you to use our controlled breakdown technique, which is slower eccentrics to really recruit more muscle fibers so you grow and build more muscle on less total volume, and elevate epoch, which is effectively getting your body to continue burning calories even after the workout. Smart, I know. Then with your day-to-day lifestyle, just hit some step targets. Your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, fancy. So rather than kind of piling on cardio, just aim for 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And this is a strong target for most busy men. Take calls on a walk, take the stairs, park further away in the supermarket car park. If you execute this, you'll glide from the mid 20% body fat region into the mid-teens really straightforwardly. So now step 2 is going from that 15% body fat mark to 12% body fat. This is where it gets interesting. The goal here is to break the plateau, but keep muscle, manage hunger, and at this stage, your overall rate of fat loss kind of slows down a little bit, and hunger may begin to rise, and a bit more precision is required. It really comes down to 2 main upgrades to kind of unlock this stage. And that first upgrade is precision and accountability. Your metabolism adapts downward as you lose weight, and what used to be a deficit maybe isn't anymore. So you need to track honestly for 10 to 14 days. We use our own app for this, but you could use any tracker like MyFitnessPal to honestly track. And you want to track your total daily calorie consumption to make sure that you are within that that deficit. Because if weight stalls for 7 to 10 days, I want you to reduce your calories by 100 to 200 per day, or just increase steps by 1 to 2,000 per day. Small dials, not drastic switches. The second upgrade that I want you to make is macro allocation. Keep your protein high and then pull calories mostly from fats, as they are the most calorie dense, energy dense, and then give those calories to carbs to fuel your training, focus, and recovery. Aim to consume around 20 to 25% of your total daily calories as fats, and the majority of your carbs around workouts to improve performance and really blunt those cravings. This is where we often introduce some simple carb cycling inside the lifestyle nutrition framework, higher carb days on your training days to really fuel that performance and muscle retention, and slightly lower carb rest days to create that deeper weekly deficit, all while keeping protein locked. But training at this stage doesn't need to change too much. Stay at your 3 sessions a week, 45 minutes, and just progressively overload continuously. Look to kind of really apply that progression. And if diet fatigue does hit, just shift some lifts to slightly higher reps while keeping your effort very, very high. And then maintain our metabolic finishes at the end of your sessions, really continue chasing accuracy and tension. Now, energy and focus is important because this is where we need to kick in with our executive performance protocol, making sure that your sleep timing is optimized, your pre-bed routine is nailed on, and ensuring that caffeine is cut off at around 8 to 10 hours pre-bed so your sleep isn't trashed. And then take strategic work breaks and daylight to keep circadian rhythm aligned and keep steps high, along with hydration and combinations of protein and carb post-workout meal timing so cognitively you bounce back. Stay here consistently and you'll land around that 12% mark. Straightforward. Now, stage 3, where it gets really spicy, going from 12% to 10%. Now the goal here is to finish the job, okay? Prevent rebound and be honest, it's about trade-offs. At this stage, you may begin to feel a little bit more hungry, calories are tight, and food choices really matter. Here's what works. Food strategy. Double down on high volume foods. Tons of veg, fruit, plate these up to the size of your head. More fibrous foods such as potatoes, berries, and Greek yogurt, and keep your protein high at that number we previously set, and budget carbs around your training. You wanna be a bit more strategic and plan your social events with calorie banking, aiming to drop around 100 to 200 calories through Monday through Friday, mostly from carbs and fats, to free up that kind of 500 to 1,000 calories for your Saturday dinner, and protein stays high here as well. And at this stage, you might want to add in small amount of list cardio. Keep it low intensity, steady state. Think your spin bike or your incline walking, short, strategic sessions here, just 2 or 3 sessions a week of list. We never use cardio as a punishment, just another dial that we can turn. And then training remains at 3 sessions of 45 of our metabolic training method. Accuracy, keep your tension high, form tight, finishes short and effective. You need to recover to keep that muscle. At stage 3, you often have a reality check. For most natural, time-constrained men, 12 to 15% body fat with muscle looks elite, performs well when it's sustainable. And if you want 10% body fat, know the trade-offs. More hunger, more planning, and potentially lower everyday energy. Choose the level that supports your life and leadership. I personally like 12%, as I feel great here. Tons of energy, you look awesome, libido is high, and you can maintain this with ease. So now let's dive into why your past attempts to get lean have failed. If you've tried keto, fasting, 6-day splits, or hours of cardio, and it didn't stick, it's not discipline, it's design, because fad diets ignore your calendar, your travel, your family, and your brain. Random workouts don't build metabolism. Endless cardio eats time and often erodes muscle, not good. And no plan for energy means you try running through walls for 10 days and then boom, you just crash. We fix this with our metabolic training method. Those 3 sessions, precise, 45 minutes, they build muscle and elevate your metabolic rate. Our lifestyle nutrition framework is flexible, high protein structure that fits client dinners, flights, travel, real life. And like I said, our executive performance protocol, sleep, stress, cognitive strategies, so your energy and focus compound instead of collapsing. And this is how we get your body working for you again, not against you. No one wants their body working against them, but a lot of you guys are stuck with that. Now, if you're ready to rebuild your metabolism, lose the belly, and own your energy without sacrificing your career or family, here's what you need to do. There's a video down there that walks through this method in its entirety, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.